Hello, Kaloo. My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be attempting to finish Fear and Hunger Solus in Somnium. Now, yes, we're going to be attempting to finish everything. I feel relatively confident that we'll be able to finish things. We don't have that much to do, relatively speaking. We really don't. All we really need to do is that if I go all the way down here, I've been making fun of Manly for the past little bit. All we really need to do is actually the dungeon. Now, just to kind of confirm some things, added some new weapons, fixed up this. I completely forgot about the circles when we were making spells. So what I ended up doing was applying every single spell and giving it a different thing to do. Hey, you have, various circles of spells. Higher circle means you need better training to do it. If you don't have the proper training to do it, you're actually going to take double the mind and damage, which is pretty bad. Which is, say, for example, the Black Smog, which means that you will be taking 26 mind instead of 13. Or for a Blood Golem, you'd be taking, that would be about 56 mind instead of 28. Generally speaking, only do things you're trained for, and it's very easy to not be trained for spells, so keep that in mind when you're casting. Had to kind of apply this. A lot of things are rank 1, but that's kind of the point. Do you have the most basic understanding of spells? If you do, awesome. If you don't, you're going to have a bad time. Let me see, But yes, generally speaking, added a bunch of things here, ritual casting, added all the custom spell variables. This took a little bit longer than I had planned generally, but everything is here, reduced the cost of things. Spell circle goes up to 3, which actually reduces the mind cost pretty significantly. The issue is higher circle spells they're cheaper to cast in general, but they're just harder to get up to that level, which does encourage you as a GM or as a player when you're developing a spell to really invest heavily into a third circle spell, because it's just more difficult and it's technically going to be double whatever your value is. Added just some very basic spells down here. What I can probably do is sort of paragraph A to Z. Just things to kind of give you an idea of what they could do, even down to things like Stellar Blast is a second circle spell that does pretty much 3d10 damage and inflicts Confuse and a favor to hit. It's a really consistent spell, and it only costs 19 mind, which may seem like, oh, well, it costs only 19 out of 100 mind. That seems really good, until you realize that's 19 out of 100 mind. That's very difficult to recover, relatively speaking, so bear that in mind. Desires. I've been trying to... Part of me just wants to add a, effectively just say hexen, and then make it like 5, which would be, fuck it, let's do it right here. Thank you for following. Thank you for following, Vox79. Hey, Notepad, your bot is broken and is stupid. Which bot, I should say? Is it Profit Bot? Profit Bot is stupid and makes silly choices every now and again. But thank you for following, Vox79. Hopefully, I did fix things slightly. So things are a little bit louder, so I can now hear the thing. So I can now hear the usually slaps of a man's ass warning me that someone's following. As for a Profit Bot, I don't think I didn't update things properly, so I kind of got a little bit confused. Hexen gains a new skill. There we go. So yeah, it's one of the ideas is I wanted to get across that like getting new skills or abilities is actually kind of difficult. you really got to kind of appeal to these gods, and these gods are very fickle, and they don't like things. They don't like you, especially. So you kind of got to appeal to the whims of very divine beings. And fix this, how this looks up a little bit. Now we get to do the Void method of dungeoneering. Yes, Void has gone through a few different renditions at this point. And Void is always a pain in the ass, but it's also very useful. The basic concept behind the Void method of... what do I think of the new edition of Chrome Strike? Yes, new version of Chrome Strike came out. I haven't really got a chance to go over it, but it does look a little bit cleaner. Though I will say as well, is that it hasn't... How do I want to word this? There doesn't seem to be many major changes. That makes sense. It looks to be cleaner, but nothing like immediately like we've changed a huge amount. I need to like go over it in graphic detail. And I do have a mech case, so I'll throw it in the mecha case, I guess. Speaking about cases, what I should do is I should go to my server of lovely people, go to Pole Town, and see what the current runnings are for the next case. So, currently, the next case for November is looking to be the War Drum case. That's kind of a shoo-in for first place. However, we're currently neck and neck between the Fairy Tale case and the Supers case. Though I will say that the riddle of steel is very close behind. We are all like right next to each other there. That's a very, very tight race. I will most likely leave it up to a coin flip, or I will consult my tiebreaker and see what he wants. I'm seeing the numbers shift as I speak. It's great. But yes, I have there's a few ways to go about this. There's a few different ways that it could happen. You guys got pretty much today and tomorrow to do it, so anything's possible. I'll probably put out a big note saying like, hey, feel free to vote of whatever you want, what seems appropriate, and now is the time to do such. Democracy is dead. Democracy dies in darkness, but luckily, it's going to be the Lux democracy. If things go according to plan anyway, we're going to be doing the commission we have another commission project coming up next. I was watching Night of the Living Dead. I probably should finish it tomorrow. Can you believe it's free to watch? I actually can believe that because it's been 50 years. It's been a while. But yes, we do have a commission project next. A little excited for that. It's going to be a little bit of a weird one. I need to contact the commissioner and hammer out some details with him. I meant to do that this weekend and I kind of got distracted. But after that, we just have Neurobeat. When we start Neurobeat, I will put up the next big old democratic process. So get ready for that, kids. It'll probably be mid to late November, in which the democratic process begins again, and democracy dies yet again. I've got a few games planned out for that one, but all of them various shades of weird. I have a little thing in my hair. One thing about having extremely long hair, that people will randomly compliment you on hair. However, what they don't know is that the hair is also very annoying to manage. There we go. Oh, a pay notepad. It's been a while since we've had one of these. So everyone, I hope you have... There we go. See, it's the beautiful thing. This is the last day of Fear and Hunger Redux, or you think you could finish it? We will finish it today. See, this is the best part, is that Pay Notepad is just me run an ad. Because running ads is the funniest thing you can do in this. But yes, today will be the final day. If God willing, today is going to be the final day. But yes, so the dungeon is the focal point of the adventure. Is the focal point, is the loci of treacherous adventure that the tormented are drawn to as moths to the open flame. It is a twisting maze of trials. It's a twisting maze of trials and sins that force them to think fast and act irrationally. To survive. Trials and sins. Or that force them to think fast and act rationally to survive. At the start of the game, the dungeon is let's play now. The first few steps into the dungeon. Is an unknown. Is blind. The dungeon is, let's see, the dungeon is a living actually no, the dungeon as an entity is a blank slate, potential riches and danger. It itself, it acts as a character, changing and morphing by the actions of the tormented, as well as their inaction. Okay, so what we're going to do. There we go. Domain of gods and monsters. Create a dungeon. Damn, I got jump scared by the ad. Yep. Sorry, everyone. You should watch more ads, because the more ads you watch, the more you support me. Make sure to buy YouTube Premium. Yo! I don't subscribe to YouTube Premium. I don't do any of that. I believe I don't believe in YouTube Premium. It's not real. The dungeon is split up into many different areas, each of which are worlds unto. Does YouTube give you any money at all? No, YouTube does not give me any money, because I don't run ads on any of my videos. The only ads that run are the mandatory ones, and even then I don't want, like, I can apply for I am eligible to apply for the YouTube like AdSense stuff. I am able to apply for that. The thing is with that I'm a little bit worried about is that I'm going to apply for it, and then it's going to start. I'm going to be in the crosshair a little bit more for some of my videos that are somewhat copy struck. Things like some of the, usually it's UMG that goes after me because I use songs at the end of my video that I feel vaguely appropriate. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. So no, I don't really make any money from the YouTube videos. Not that I get many views to begin with, generally speaking. Let's see. Each world unto themselves. Each of these areas is referred to as a floor. A floor, either being a literal floor of a vertical pit, literal floor of a vertical building or pit, or a more metaphorical different place. The void will roll a set of dice before the tormented enter the floor and begin to note down their and notes down the location, actually notes down where they fall as well as their value. See, I'm very eager. I'm trying to figure out a good way to circumnavigate both Twitch and YouTube for the video on Sunday. Not Sunday, it'd be for Saturday. I have a very particular video I want to do on Saturday because I want to read some of J Dragon's writing. We're going to be doing kind of a two-parter on Saturday because I can do that. And one of the things is what I want to do is I want to read one of J Dragon's very very particular works. Now, I want to be very clear about this to all the 5 viewers and all the bots currently watching. This is a very important thing to note. This is an actual title of a story, of an actual title of a thing that does in fact exist, written by another human being, and that's just something that we should all know. And the story, the 3,500 word story on a Substack is called Digital Faggot Suicide Heaven. Want to make sure, written by J Dragon, the title of this story is Digital Faggot Suicide Heaven. And just to confirm, I just want to confirm to everyone that this is in fact the actual name of it. This is the actual name of what it is. J Dragon Story Corner, Digital Faggot Suicide Heaven. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that. As I say, J Dragon wrote a story called Digital Faggot Suicide Heaven. Want everyone to make sure that is known. That's going to be what I have to do. I'm going to have like a minute long. Why do you say it 3 times? Because I need to make sure, like, I legitimately am going to have to, like, very clearly state that this is J Dragon's story that I am reading for this reason, and very clearly lay out, be like, because what it is, like, Twitch has a thing, and YouTube and Twitch and all these things have a thing saying, hey, do not engage with, things like sex. Don't engage with things like, slurs or anything like that, unless it's actually part of the story, unless it's a thing in there. Twitch or YouTube is not going to call you out. They're not going to slap you down and mark you or whatever for a game saying something, or a book saying something, or a movie saying something for that purpose. It's kind of the same thing like why Ubisoft has like the thing right before being like, we're saying all these things because that's the timeline. We have to say these things, because if we don't, it would feel weird. And then they just say it like, it's going out of style. I'm just going to have to like announce that. I'm going to have it like in the fucking corner the entire time, just flashing. This is the actual title of the book. This is the actual title. And in case you're wondering, yes, I will have a full bottle of liquor by me. And I will be drinking the entire time, just hard shots every now and again. It'll be great. Let's see. So, well, then where they fall as well as their where's they value? To create a floor, the void will roll a set of dice before the tormented enter. And noting down. Noting down where they fall as well as their value. Floor has been. The floor has been mapped out, but the dangers are still fresh in its midst. In its midst. Okay, so when creating a dungeon, to remember the various terms to help clarify and keep things in order necessary. The following terms will be applied throughout. So what we're going to do is we're going to do probably something like this. This is what I mean by like, this is just one of those parts that's just a little bit weird. We're just going to say this is an anchor. What is an anchor? This is an anchor. This is something that you must know what they are. This is how they function, what they are, and what they are, and how they work. This is what an anchor is. An anchor is a set area that the void has in store for the tormented. These anchors often serve as important sections. Important sections to visit or explore. Anchors can be either placed or randomized depending on the preference of the void. An area. A floor. The floor may be entirely composed of anchors if the void wishes for a more concrete experience in a particular zone, in a particular floor. Yeah, so just like, this is what it is. This is an anchor. What's a passage? Passages are very simple. Na 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 na. Do do do. Na 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 na. Basic, continuous, dangerous. Secret. Agent man. Super secret. Agent man. Yeah, we do this. Okay. Passages are the link between the various to the various rooms. Passages can be of four types. Capital passages. Basic, often connecting hallway, side street, or other constricted space cutting the two rooms apart. The rooms are effectively connected, allowing for easy movement between the two rooms, including enemies. Rooms are effectively connected, allowing easy movement between the two for the tormented as well as their enemies. Continuous, I think the idea is like a basic passage is like this is an area before the zone. You can fight things in a basic passageway. And that's a thing, that's kind of an idea. It's like you're in a a dedicated little area connecting two zones. Continuous is like, this is just one huge area. Like two rooms are next to each other. They're continuous to each other. They count as separate areas for terms of timekeeping, but they do not count but they're effectively just merged together. I'm sorry I'm late. Tenmo was streaming. How goes the schizo posting? It's great. We're doing dungeons today, Spartan. Get ready for dungeon nightmares. Dungeon dates. Passages that inflict pain on the tormented for crossings. Hazard bridge, liquid sludge blocking the route, or liquid sludge blocking the route, or other hazards that can and will maim the tormented. Often these deal 4dx health damage. XDY health damage. Not body damage necessarily, health damage. Passages not immediately revealed. Or available, often requiring an item, skill, or switch to be pulled to use. There we go. Very easy. Tenma-san. Do randomized plays. Terms associated with house and... Let's see. Terms associated with how and when an area becomes available on the map. Randomized locations are rolled on top of the map to determine where they are, while place locations are put on the floor. On the floor by either the tormented or void in a fixed spot. Place locations are fairly uncommon. There are very few place locations for the players. They get effectively one location that they're allowed to do things in, which is a safe haven, but safe havens are very valuable because guess what? Turns out the ability to keep yourself alive is very useful. The room is a section of the dungeon itself, often an area that can be clearly defined and threaded through. Each room, capital, next is a set of time, which may be location, with items, situation going off, how many rooms the party clears or backtracks through. Put that up there. We often have is safe havens. Safe haven. A safe haven allows people to not die. Allow the tormented to rest in each safe haven is unique, entirely dependent on the We're meant to sacrifice resources to keep it up and running. They're not permanent, just as they are. Oh, we've got... It's funny because she was stringing fear and hunger again. Perfect. It's coming up, Notepad. I'm pretty much part of Face Connect as we speak. May as well put PC in there. Boom, baby. We're making it. We're all gonna make it, kings. We're all gonna make it. Easily defended is currently used by a resident or a yeah, hovels are effectively just places that people live. You need to the idea of like a hovel is you need to clear out a hovel of some variety. Hub is, I should say a hub. Hovel. Hub is a location where people tend to congregate and allow themselves some much needed respite. These are often a handful of guardians or other protective measures in place for now. To give you an idea, the train from Termina is a hub. We are into the train. We are defended on the train by being on the train. It is our safe haven. Not saying that it's always going to stay that way, though. Allows for character to rest for a short time. Vulnerable to disaster. Kind of the idea is the hovel is a place that is defended and relatively safe. You just have to clear out whoever's in there or negotiate. There's something you gotta do. A hub is like a guaranteed, like, there's a lot of people here and you are able to rest. You are good in a safe haven. At a rest stop, though, this is like, you can sleep here once. You can rest here once. And every time after that, it becomes a lot less reliable. And you could possibly hit a point where it's just no longer reliable. Where it's like you don't realize it's no longer a good place until, oh no, you know, like we're fucked and all my friends are dead. What's Tenma playing anyway? Is she playing Termina or is she playing the base game? I'm playing the first game. I thought she was playing the first game, but I know Termina's on sale right now. I wouldn't be surprised if she was doing that one. Let's see. Hey, Notepad, how's life? Are you cat raging? Are you cat raging in the Discord? I always am. Also, out of everyone you know in the Discord, who do you think would be the best, worst, and most sociopathic in the game among us? All of it. Like, all of you. You all are a danger to society. And I trust none of you. Oh, she's still in the first game. She wants to be... Is she trying to go for, like, the S ending on everybody? Everyone's S ending? I do not... the Arch's S ending is probably the easiest. Ragnarvalda is probably one of the harder because you have to fight all the bosses by yourself effectively unless you get a cool one. Enki's can be very difficult or very easy depending on a bunch of lucky strikes. Kahara's is probably the most middle of the road one. Like, it'll either go really easy for you or really poorly because Kahara actually starts with actual supplies. Well, Enki does not, but Enki's entire thing is just do one of the other endings. That's the thing with him, is it's like, what is his ending? Do another ending. You just have to befriend Nostras. which is not very difficult. You just gotta kind of meet him a few times. And it's funny because in the S ending, he's the only one who lives. He's one of the very few characters who can survive everything. A dedicated room that allows the tormented to enter a new floor. Enter a new floor, or allow them to switch locations they are in. Same rules, passages, but when taken, often tend to be a bit more dramatic. There we go. This is kind of the idea. Like, these are the basic terms that we must know. So, dungeon creation. Now the terms have been clarified. It's time to roll the dungeon's first area. Using an anchor in the first location, the void assembles a number of d6s for rooms, d4s for anchors, and d8s for transitions. Okay, so we want to do... Let's do a quick note here. So we need d6s for rooms, so d4s for anchors. We're going to do d4, d6, d6. Bela Lugosi's fucking dead. Bela Lugosi. We're not going to roll the safe havens. Safe havens are a little bit unique, and transitions are d8. So, d6s for rooms, d4s for anchors, and d8s for transitions, and then they roll them on a flat surface and record the result. D6s count as rooms, each one a unique section of the floor that allows the tormented to traverse the dungeon. D4s count as... D4 counts as... D6, a D6 counts as a room. Each one a unique part of the floor that allows the tormented to traverse the dungeon. A D4 counts as anchors. Anchors are d4s. Anchors are by a d4. While not immediately known what they are, the void now knows where they are situated onto the floor, on the map. Finally, a D8 acts as the transition point. Transition acts as a transition point to a new location. They are centralized. Being locations while exterior locations lead into a new Once during this pre-phase, you're allowed to move 2 rooms, an anchor, or a transition point, allowing the dungeon to maintain narrative consistency. Finally, they may place an anchor or transition where they wish if they need to. Next, each room... This is where things... Let's see... Trying to think of, like, other games I've used this in. Let's see. Then they roll them all to flat surface and record the result. Let's see. We don't have D10s or D12s here because I really didn't know what to add for them. So let's take a look through. Let's go through memory lane a little bit. Let's see what we can find. Zombirinos and Zigguratios. And Zigguratio. Olay. Trial of the Void method. Let's see. D12 escape route from the dungeon, kind of siren call to adventurers and the keepers of the thralls. I guess we can add a. What would be a good way for? Safe havens are a little bit unique. They're going to be D2s. What I should do is put a D2 there. Because literally with a safe haven, what you do is you put a coin down. That's what you do. So let's think. In a dungeon, what are we looking for? We have a dungeon, we are doing dungeon things. We have rooms in a dungeon. Alright, easy enough. We have passages, we have things to connect rooms to a dungeon. We have a transition point. Transition points make sure that we can leave to a different area or a different floor entirely. This is a clear indication saying we are leaving now. There are places where we can rest. And there are important places called anchors. An anchor is an important place that we want to be. If we cannot be in an anchor, we are not, like, these are actual, like, defined areas that are very important to us. So, let me think. What do we need? What am I missing? What are we missing? Zombies and Ziggurats has the escape points. But escape points are valuable because escape points allow us to leave the dream. Because that's a very important part of Zombies and Ziggurats. Places where you can escape the dream. Because that's the narrative assumption of Zombies and Ziggurats. You are in a dream. And being in a dream has its upsides and a lot of downsides. Mostly downside. It sucks being in the dream. I wondered. I think I used it for Alona. So let's look at Alona. Yes, hello Alona. My very long, very nightmarish game. Great. I love Alona. Alona's my favorite. Abstracted dungeons. I didn't actually put the void method in here, did I? Let's think. Where I also put it in what was it called? It was my... By Blade and Cross, that's it. A Conquisto mech game. Conquisto. Camp system, not camp. Didn't I put anything unique for you all? Yeah, just this is a fairly basic one as well. Feels like I'm missing something. Feels like I'm missing something very dramatically, and I don't know what it is. About a dungeon that we could use a D12 for. D12s are very... We can use D12s, luckily. We have a full set of dice. I'm trying to think of, like, what else could we add to a dungeon? What else could we add to a dungeon to make it more interesting to explore around? Actually, I know what we can add in. A shrine is a location where one of the gods holds sway. Let's see. A shrine is a location where one of the gods holds sway. Their shrine may be as extravagant as a church, as a full cathedral. Or a dingy basement with a profane summoning circle in it. Shrines allow the tormented to ply their favor to apply their favor and improve their abilities. Let's see. Actually, apply for favor, and improve their abilities. Boom, D12s. Let's see. A D12 will become a shrine. Will become a shrine, allowing the void to consecrate it for one of the gods of the dungeon to consecrated for one of the gods of the dungeon. Or many gods due to their nature. Okay. Next, each room, anchor, shrine, and transition must be connected by passages. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do my best here. This is gonna be the fun part. Okay. Dice that land close to or touching one another have a continuous passage regardless of facing. Dice passages may never cross straight through another die. Right, it's actually dice passages may never cross straight through another die, but intersecting. Okay, so players dice that land close to or touching one another have a continuous passage regardless of facing. Dice that land apart from one another that are even or odd numbers connect with a basic passage. Dice with no connections connect to the closest passage as a dangerous passage. Dice have one connection connect to another passage as a dangerous passage if they are able to. If not, draw a dangerous passage to the closest non-connected die. Dice that show the same face have a secret passage if they are able Dice that show the same face have a secret passage if they are already not connected. Dice that draw lines to those of similar faces intersect with one another become connected to the passage. Of those similar intersecting with other passages are instead connected to the passage. The location already has a basic passage. It cannot also have a secret passage. Okay, so I am going to get rid of this. We are going to I'm going to get a shove that back a little bit. We're going to open paint.net. Dun, 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 dun. Get ready for some artistic work. Okay, so get ready for some artistry, everybody. I hope you are all ready for some genuine artistic talent from your boy Notepad. I'll warn you all now. I'm not really good at any of this. But I will endeavor to do my best. Okay, so just put you. Okay, so the theory, a game theory. So we are going to make, what size is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to be making, we'll make a medium room of six rooms. So we're instead going, we're gonna say it's gonna be 8 rooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna put a shrine in there, so we're gonna put 12 in there. We're going to have one transition. Important. Let's see. We're gonna have 2 anchors. Let's say we have 2 anchors. That's 2 D4s. Right, all together. That is all we have right now. Anything else we want to add to this? I don't believe so. So I'm gonna take all of my dice here. Dice ASMR with your boy Notepad. We're going to move my shit off to the side. I don't have a lot of room on my desk. But that is the fun part of this entire endeavor, isn't it? So, Dice ASMR. Just put that down there. Let's can possible. Okay. So, now I get to replicate this to the best of my ability. So, will it be good? Probably not. Will I attempt to do it? Yes, I will, because I'm me. So, to give you an idea, we have a D6, a wave in the far corner here. We've got 2 D6s here. I'm gonna try to keep the 1 D6 like right here. 1 over here. Like what? It's more like this. I made these too big. Oh no. I made these way too big. Then we do that. We put one down. Okay, we're going to put one. Let's start from the top, okay? Let's start from the top. Let's put like this. We put one like right up here. Okay, so then we put one like this. Yes, I'm not fucking with anyone when I say this is kind of, we've got like a good little grid going on here. So we're gonna put one like right here, one here, and one here. Okay, so these are our basic die. So now we need to put our D8 that we had. All right, I know where our D8 is going. So we have a D8, so that means we have a... We have this. We're going to put our D8 right there, because that's what our D is. Don't have any more D8s, so we're going to put our D4s, and our D4s are of course going to be triangles. We have one D4 right here. Very interesting situation with that D4, and we've got another D4 right up here. Okay, so we've got two D4s there. Then we've got our D12, and our D12 is right there. Okay, so we've got our basic setup, yes. So we're able to shift around some things. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this right here instead. We're going to move that just a little bit more internally, mostly so I can do this a bit bigger. We got a little bit more room to work with. Okay, so now I'm just going to label these as effectively raw. So this is, and I will fix everything once I just need to make the map right now. That's the important thing. We need to make the map. Let's see, actually, do we have, I mean, let's do sins. Everyone likes Felix. 5, 3, 3, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5. See, we already kind of got some weird connections going on here. 3. That's 3. 1. 1. 2. 6. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take all my dice here, and we're going to put them off to the side. Good job, team. We have successfully... Neopet artisan. I'm an artiste. Yes, there we go. We have successfully drawn up what our map is supposed to look like. Now, this is where things start getting a little funky, where we need to more clearly define where all the connections are. So we've my life here a little bit. Put it right there in the corner. Yeah, here we are. Here's all our little connections here. So, dice that land close to each other or are touching or touching one another have a continuous passage. So, looking at this, these two are effectively touching. So we're going to have a nice continuous passage between these two. We're going to represent that with dots. So, these two are continuous. These two. These two are continuous. Nothing else is really continuous. This is not a perfect explanation of it, but yeah, these two are effective. All of these are touching. So, land are even or odd, connect with a basic passage. Let's see, that land apart from one another that are even or odd numbers, connect with a basic passage to the... Okay, so even odds or evens. So odds, so these two connect. Odds, obviously, these two connect. 5, oh, we've got another one. Boom, we connect. Ooh, connections. So we've got all of these little things over here that are all connected. 1 connects to you, and you connect to this one. You connect to this one, obviously. We're going to connect here. I believe that means you would connect here as well. Yeah, so this is effectively what would occur here. Actually, you two are even, so you two would connect naturally. You physically cannot connect to anyone else because you would start intersecting. Actually, here's what I can do. We're gonna make this. We're gonna do the lowest numbers to the highest number. So ones. We're gonna start with this 1. This ones can connect here. It can connect here. Connect here. All these ones can connect to one another. Connects to the closest one available. Boom, boom, boom. All these ones connect. We'll go to 2. What can this 2 connect to? 2 connect to you. There's no other even one it can connect to reasonably without intersecting with another die. Another 2. Is there a 3? Yes, this 3 can connect to this 5. Cool. Can the 3 connect with anything else? No. There's nothing more close. 4. Can the 4 connect with anything? No. Can the 5 connect with anything? Yes. The 5 can connect with this 1. The 5 can connect with this 3. This 5 can connect with this 1. And this 5 can connect with this 3. Boom. We've got a nice little trifecta going on here. 5 can also connect to this one. Alright, cool. And you can connect to this one, and you cannot connect to anything else. So, and then we go to 6. What can 6? 6 can connect to just this 2. There's no other even that it can connect to. 3. Dice with no connections connect to the closest passage is a dangerous passageway. Let's see. Is anything not connected to one another? No. Everything is connected to one another. Nothing is unconnected. So we have no dangerous passages. With one connection to another passage, dice with one connection connect to another passage as a dangerous passage if they are able to. If not, draw a dangerous passage to the closest non-connected die. Dice with one connection connect to another nearby. Let's see. Connect to another passage as a dangerous passage. As a dangerous passage. If they are closer to a die, actually closer to a room, Okay. So we go here. These two, let's see. You are closer to this one. So what you're going to do is I'm going to draw a dangerous passage to this one. You are about the same in any direction. So you're going to immediately, go to here. We have two dangerous passages here to 6 and 2. We don't know what's there. Doesn't matter what's there. You have one connection, so we're going to connect you to the closest passage as a dangerous passage, but technically it would be down here. So we would end up connecting it like this. So the dangerous passage there, you have two passages, you have two passages, you have two, there we go. So we've connected this entire area together a little bit in weird spaghetti formation. This is a fucking awful place to be. Draw and dive, same phase, have a secret passage if they are Dice shown to have the same face of secret passage if they are not already directly connected. Connected with a passage. So this one and these two, this one and this one are not connected to this one over here. So we need to find a secret passage. So we're going to do. We'll do this. There's going to be a secret passage here, and there would be these would all connect to the same secret passage. There we go. Because these two ones have to connect to this one. They're not connected. Somehow all of these are connected. This 5 and this 5 would need to find a connection somehow. But that would also violate other rules if that occurs, so we cannot do that. Do we have any other weird connections that are possible? No, we have no other connections that are possible. Everything is connected to one another unless we want to do... unless we want to do something like this. So effectively what we would do is we would do this, we would connect to this passage, and we would connect to this passage. There we go. We've connected all these things together, and the 5 would attempt to continue along, so we would have this passage enter here. So technically we would do this. This would be our passage. It would intersect with this passage. Actually, dice that show the same fate, not are directly connected. Dice that draw lines, those are similar faces intersecting with other passages are instead connected to the passage. So we would normally have to draw from 5 to 5. However, we would go here. All of this is connected to the same passage. 3. You would attempt to do that, and guess what? This 3 would attempt to go here, and it would rejoin this convoluted fucking nightmare maze over here. I don't know what the fuck is going on over here. Whatever it is, I don't like it. It is awful. So we're going to actually end up having to draw that right here as well, because it's trying to reach 3. It's trying to reach each other. However, it'll be like do. There we go. It would intersect with another passage. Wow. This is the worst shit imaginable. We have just 2 giant clumps of misery in 2 locations. And hey, this is what we do. This is how we're doing it, everyone. We are gaming. Room already has a basic passage to a location. It cannot also have a secret passage to the same location. So we look here. Nothing is violating the rules. There we go. Okay. So if we go under this idea currently, everything should be legal. We just have kind of a mess over here, and we've just got this horrible spaghetti monster. We've just got this horrible amount of spaghetti going on. But hey, we like spaghetti here. We are Italian nationalists, so we believe in spaghetti pride. The thing is, remember, secret passages are not necessarily like hidden doors or anything. That's not what they are. What they are not obvious ways. You need to flip a passage. You need to do something to unlock a secret passage. And remember, passages do not indicate time. It's only when you enter and leave a room. So normally, let's say we start at this location right over here. We're in, ooh, didn't mean to hit that button. If we're over here, normally, if we want to get over here, that would be 1, 2. That'd be, 1, 2, 3. 3 rooms we gotta cross through. However, if we want to get down here, normally that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms we gotta get down. That sucks. However, if we unlock these passageways over here, it would be 1, because we can just follow the passageways here. We're saving time. Hey, we want to get from here to here. Boom, boom, boom. It's very easy to get from point A to point B. However, if we want to get the 6 and 2, what's up with 6 and 2? We do not know what's up with 6 and 2. These are just 2 locations that are in the middle of nowhere that are somehow connected to a shrine. We don't know where that shrine is or why the shrine is the way that it is. All we know is that they are together. Wonder what's going on there. So, so finally, next the tormented. Next the void. After determining the floor's map, and its general layout, the tormented may opt to burn their lucky coin to create a safe haven. Each safe haven is placed by a player. It's placed by a tormented in a location that is currently unoccupied by a die. It can intersect with passages. Let's see. It can intersect with passages if let's see. It can intersect with passages if necessary. The tormented will flip their coin. Actually, no. The tormented will flip a. Actually, no. The void will flip a coin. No. The tormented will. We'll place a coin down. A coin down to determine a safe location. A safe location placed down by a tormented can be placed. It's currently unoccupied by a die. By a locale. It can intersect with passages if necessary. Can intersect with passages and follows the rule and intersect with passages. Can intersect with passages. And actually, if not placed on a passage directly, if not placed on a passage directly, will automatically create a basic passage connecting it to the closest passage. Let's see, automatically connecting it to the closest passage or room. Tormented will flip their coin. So one player will flip the coin to determine whether or not it is a rest stop heads or a hubble tails. May spend a lucky coin to add a new passage of their choice. A new basic passage of their choice. The void. Let's see. The void may add safe passages. Actually, safe havens to the floor's pool. May add safe haven to the floor's pool as D2's coins. Let's see, as D2's coins. Let's see, add the safe havens to the floor. Actually, I should say. Safe havens in the floor. Let's see, has added any to the floor. They are always secret passages or danger. They are always behind secret passages. It's fun, fair, and balanced. Went in good time, got my arm ripped off in the first 5 minutes. Pretty much. Oh! Ow. Yeah, effectively, Fear and Hunger is a game that punishes you for trying to have fun. You gotta learn. You gotta learn Fear and Hunger. You gotta know it. Gotta love Fear and Hunger. That's why I'm wrong co-host. Strongest soldier. Say hello to Osa, Manly. Learn to love the pain. Yes, embrace the pain. Know the pain. Understand it. Every time safe haven is used, flip a coin to determine if the area remains a safe haven. Actually, any hub safe haven is considered an anchor. Every time a safe haven is every time a hubble or a rest stop or hovel safe haven is used, flip a coin to determine if the area remains safe haven. Characters view on the tormented. Tormented's view on the tormented's few places of respite. Nothing is sacred. Tread carefully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a footnote, though. We're going to go all the way back up here. Side note, new safe havens. New safe havens. If an area has been cleared of threats and dangers, the tormented may use their lucky coins. Actually, a tormented may use this session's lucky coin to create a new safe haven. As a rest stop. Same rules as above apply. Effectively, it's like, don't take legitimately nothing for granted, because you will inevitably lose things. Da 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 da. We're gonna put one right here. Actually, what we can do, there we go, we could put it in the middle of this weird zeitgeist of different line nightmares, and we'll put one like right there. How about that? And we'll put a basic passage, of course. We'll put a basic passage like right here. Put a big X in it though, just to symbolize, like, yeah, the safe haven has been lost. This is a place that has been lost. It's a good place that is now gone. Side note on secret passages. Isn't it a bad idea to reveal secret passages to the... Secret passages isn't necessarily a hidden doorway as much as it can be a locked entranceway, a collapsed hole, barely in a large enough hole to fit through, another thing that prevents easy access. It's secret because it allows players to navigate the area for exploration. They know it's there, but they may not have access it until they have the right equipment or items. On the other hand, sometimes secret passages aren't for the players. The denizens of this hellish place also live here and use small entrances for their own nefarious ends. Ambushes are common. Rules as written can be fairly haphazard. Yeah, we're gonna add the raw conversation. Rules as written, fairly truth. If you want a locked door, add a locked door. If you want a passage but locked, then block it. Okay, so denizens of the dark. So I'm gonna put one right here, and actually, so what we can do is we can do that. We're going to add in a very basic map here. Then raw, we'll put in the big map right down here, and then kind of be like, yeah, this is effectively how this is like how a final floor might look. This is going to be just like one part of many different floors, if that makes sense. This is a single part of a much larger idea. It just sounds like the gym. Don't worry, I'm the master of this gym. Fucking slaves! Get your ass back here. I actually have that as like a sound for my notifications. It's great. So, denizens of the dark, deep dark fantasies, my deep dark fantasies. You want to go down to my deep dark fantasies? Do you believe in dark fantasies? Ooh. Woohoo. Woohoo. Inside the dungeon, there are a host of malign beasts and creatures that seek to harm or hinder the... Oh, God. Okay, time to rewrite all of this shit. Tormented. Progress through the darkness. To its depths, dealing or slaying with them may be the only recourse, or at least surviving their onslaught. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Every monster, every threat inside of the dungeon has a purpose and history. They exist for a reason in this place and are not infinite. Rather than detail a host of monsters and beasts. Each god and their avatars have an assortment of creatures that pledge their unknowing, that pledge their loyalty, to them, or are the fallout of their plans. The Void will design each of the various entities that find themselves wandering the halls, well as the entities that control them. Because, like, this is, like, the thing with, like, Termina. For, like, Termina will do, like, fear and hunger Termina enemies. Like, generally speaking, there are very few enemies. If you do look at, like, just regular enemies, regular basic enemies. Villager, like, Rifleman, Moonscorch, all these. You're like, all right, there aren't many of these that are, like, really weird, generally speaking. There are some that are like, oh, that's kind of strange. What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you? But a vast majority of the actual enemies, there aren't that many, all things considering. Because what's villager, rifleman? Like, what are all of these? These are all just effectively person with item that wants to kill you. What is the sickle guy? It's a guy with a sickle. What's the guy with knives? It's the person with a knife. You sound like a fucking Looney Tunes character when you stretch. Lubu, don't you know that I secretly am a Looney Tunes character? This should be known by this point. It's like, these are all, like, pretty much the exact same kind of character. This is just a villager with a gun. Like, ghoul, all of these are effectively the same idea. They are all person with an effect on them. They're all ghouls of some variety. Then you start getting into, like, this is just a dude. What are you? Oh, I'm a dude. Oh, what are you? Horrible abomination. Oh, dude. Monster. I don't know what the fuck a rat. Like, that's horrible. I hate this. Like, there aren't many different kinds of actual creatures in these games. And the ones that are present, you're like, yeah, Flame Trooper, the Bremen Elite. Like, these are just dudes as well. Death Mask is still just a dude. It's like, when you start getting into this one, oh, here's Stitches. Oh, here's Vile. Oh, here's Needles. Oh, here's the Meat Grinder. Here's Father Hugo. These are there's Pocket Cat. Hi, Pocket Cat. Like, it's Pocket Cat. What are you doing? When you see a lot of these ones, is they start getting a little bit more specific. And this is kind of the thing that I want people to focus on. You design a handful of these guys. They're kind of like the ones you need and not much else. But then you start really focusing on bosses, or in Termina's case, hey, obviously we want to deal with every single one of the contestants in one way or another. Because all of the contestants are dangerous. Oh no, look, it's Dan. How do we fight Dan? How do we fight Abella? How do we fight Osa? How do we fight Olivia? Oh no, how do we fight Pav with a gun? How do we fight Karen with a gun? That's kind of the idea behind a lot of them, are how do you deal with enemies like this? Then you start getting things a little bit more specific. What's the moon scorched variants of all of them? What are the the more dangerous versions of them? I believe even Fear and Hunger had like Fear and Hunger had even less enemies. Like, genuinely speaking, they had less actual enemies. Let's see. Vast majority of these guys aren't even like fucking enemies, generally speaking. Ugh. God, I forgot how much I hate half of the. What a beautiful. What a horrible, horrible thing. Plus, what are you even doing here? Plus doesn't do anything. Yeah, like. But yeah. That's kind of the idea. There aren't many enemies in these games, but that's not the point of them. The point of them is you're a bunch of people in a situation getting fucking mauled by one of them. There aren't many guards in Fear and Hunger, but you don't need to have that many guards, because one guard will kill you. So let's see. Inside the dungeon, there are malign bees. More tiers of enemies to encounter. Minions, brutes, bosses, and greater souls. Effectively defeat. Bosses are large, imposing creatures own right, able to kill an unprepared, tormented. Feed themselves with either loyal servants or titanic strength. Finally, greater souls. Mortals and tap directly into the gods' power themselves. Often these are avatars of the gods or seek to supplant them. So, this is where rewriting this shit. Okay, so this is where things start getting a little bit hectic. I gotta rewrite a lot of this stuff. So, I'm gonna put this like right here. Okay, so enemy creation charts. When confronted with, let's see, when confronted with their own kind, when confronted by another tormented, tormented, they will be considered. They will be considered. Let's see. When confronted by another tormented, they will. Brutes for this regard to their strength and in regard to their strength and ability. When disaster, let's see. When terror meets when terror and desperation meets the off chance of survival, any creature becomes a living nightmare. Anyone can excel beyond their means. To meet the off chances of anyone can excel beyond their means. Enemy creation charts. Okay, this is where things start getting a little bit funky. So, when designing, when crafting the denizens of the dungeon, when crafting the denizens of the dungeon, instead of having fears or hopes, they will instead have one line of attributes, and one line of will have their death. Actually, what we can do. Death. Well, they will have their death in contrast to the tormented. Death is we go all the way back up. We check. Back down. They'll have their death to contrast the tormented, the tormented. Deviance. I also had to make a new word. It's a great word. Enchiritic. Anger, tension, and then we merge this together. You may say, no, Pat, enchiritic isn't a word. And I say, au contraire, it totally is a word, because I made it the fuck up. Tension and hate. Called it. Originally, I was actually having some issues with it, because originally it was deviance, endurance, anger, thoughts, and hate. The thing is, their endurance we already kind of had endurance, and I didn't want them to share any words. So I actually sat in VC last night, and we hammered out this. That's why we came up with the god-awful word of enchiritic. Enchiritic is a terrible, terrible imaginary word made by a schizophrenic. Me. It's great, though. It's a great word. All it literally means, because enchiridion, by the way, and this is very important, enchiridion is a word. You didn't think that enchiridion was a word, did you? All it is a small manual or handbook. So it's like the Enchiridion of Byleth, the Handbook of the Christian Knights, the Erufruit Enchiridion. That's all it was, just a small handbook or knight. Or a small handbook. And if we go to the definition of Enchiridion, is a book containing essential information on a subject, which we're going to be doing. It's a very formal way of doing it. Had the diminutive of Idion. Legitimately an indispensable guide. That's all it is, just a guide. Adjective, the word Enchiridion is an adjective meaning in the hand or ready to hand. That's all it is. It's a handy book. That's legitimately all it is the Enchiridion is a hand. It's a handbook. That's all it is. So being an Enchiridic is just being someone. Being Enchiridic. I effectively took a noun and made it an adjective. So being an Enchiridic would be being like a handbook, effectively, a formal handbook. You just know things. If you're saying, oh, I'm very Enchiridic, that would mean you have a lot of offhand information. Or, hey, the librarian is very Enchiridic. That would mean they have a lot of, like, formal information. A lot of a handbook. They are a living handbook, effectively. It's not super deep. Doesn't need to be super deep. It's just a lot of essential information. Words are hard, yes. So, yes. It's great. I don't know what you're talking about. Unnatural abilities and the whims of the gods around, of them. The denizens, natural intelligence, actually the denizens warped intelligence, and natural affinity toward unnatural abilities and actually, and let's see. There's warped intelligence and natural affinity toward using spells and magical effects. Warped intelligence and affinity. Anger the denizen's brutish strength and inhuman endurance against the against the sin of their existence. And hatred. The denizen's pure, unbridled hatred toward its own existence, toward its own existence and the tormented. There we go. It just hates you. That's the secret. Every denizen, every creature of the dungeon, when confronted, every creature of the dungeon will have their death, as their bonuses, and abilities, to save against the spells and effects of the tormented. Each of the fears and hopes are tied to one of the death. One of the death themselves, and used to determine their value when rolling to violate the tormented. When making a judgment to eviscerate the tormented. What's your ability? I'm going to kill you. Like, oh, that's not very nice of you. Acuity reflexes. Death, fear, hope. Hatred is... Actually, I'm going to do that, and we're going to type in... When crafting a monster of the depth, when creating a monster of the depths, when crafting a monster of the depths, the void will treat it as the equivalent fear in bonus modifiers. So having a +3 deviance is like having +3 enigmatic for any bonuses. Like having a +3 enigmatic when making a judgment. When calculate, they will then take 10 plus death to determine their save value as if it was hope. So having possessing anger +5 would be like having endurance 15. Yeah, it's very simple in that's kind of the idea. It's just like, hey, they're not going to have a lot, but hey, you are... That's not... The point is not to make enemies these unkillable juggernauts who will never die and you have zero hope of ever confronting them and you just explode when looking at them. No, that's not the point. The point is that they are intimidating and you shouldn't want to fuck with enemies if you don't have to. Find a way to get around them. Find a way to subvert them. Hey, I don't want to deal with the monster that can eat my face. Fuck that. I want to throw a pipe bomb at it. I want to attack it with a buzzsaw. I want to do something that enables me to survive where normally I really shouldn't. Hey, I don't really want to fight the gigantic sodomizer. No. Like, I don't really want to fight the gigantic sodomization creature. No, I don't want to. I'm going to throw a fucking pipe bomb at it. Yeah, I don't want to fight the giant arm biter ant. I'm going to throw a pipe bomb at it. Why don't we just leave? Ever thought about that? Ever thought about just fucking leaving? Why don't we put down a trap? Why don't we put down something? Because they are endless. You are not. That's kind of the idea, being like, 4 of these guys versus you. Yeah, you can kill them, but now you're more fucked up for the next creature. And you don't want to. And that's kind of one of the overall threats, you could say, is not necessarily that they exist, it's the fact that there's a lot more of them and they don't care. They might not even register that, you know, they might not have that survival instinct anymore, even. Hatred. Hatred is a unique attribute afforded to the unique. Hatred is a unique attribute. A unique attribute of the denizens. In short, it reflects. In short, it reflects their inhuman hatred towards the and their fighting ability because of it. Let's see, we want to do... They'll get a natural bonus. They will get a natural bonus to all damage dealt by their hatred. Let's see. They will gain a bonus and they'll gain a bonus to damage resistance. Actually, no. For every no, that's not quite. Let's. I want to fight Tanaka in the face. How do I want to do this? I want to. See, one of the things with Termina is that it's like, oh, we want to fight in Termina. You don't fight in Termina. You just fucking shoot someone with a gun. I'm feeling very enchiritic today. Like, I'm gonna dip latching up data and lagging out. I'll catch y'all later. Yep, go. Try not to get your stinger cut off by a zombie with a sharp stick. Because I'm like, effectively, what I want hatred to be is hatred is an enemy's kind of, I wouldn't say gotcha moment, but it's kind of like your fuck you action. Like, this thing is just more dangerous because its hatred is just higher. It is a scarier entity by virtue of having higher hate. And it has higher hatred, and it's going to make sure that you have less abilities to have fun. I guess, you know what, fuck, we can actually have this as, like, it's pretty much what I want it to be, is like the balancer of a of a fight where there's 4 of us, there's 1 of you, we have an action economy advantage, you do not. It's the balancing act to that. You have a action economy, like, trying to think. Hmm. Yeah. Legendary like what? Random legendary fucking resistances. That's not the point. We don't want that. They're just fucking scary because they're just tough. That's the idea behind like a lot of the Fear and Hunger boss fights, is that they are just insanely tough. They can take a lot more punishment than you can, and because they can take a lot more punishment than you can, it's just harder to actually deal with them. There's got to be an answer. Like there has to be a the quintessential fucking nightmare fighting experience with fighting a boss monster outside just giving them more actions. Because I'm afraid if I give them more actions, they're just going to be able to just mulch you faster. It's like, yeah, okay, you just have the ability to get mulched quicker. And I'm like, that's not as entertaining as like them having the ability to do something. But I guess that kind of trades out their ability to actually have more actions necessarily. You're trading out your ability to get raw bonuses to do things in exchange for the amount of things you're allowed to do per round. So if you have 5 hatred and 0 everything else, you're rolling just a d20 for everything, and you have 10 on all your fucking saves. You're very much 50-50, and if the players are smart enough and have enough armor, you're not really going to do any damage. That doesn't sound really, but you get to do a bunch of stuff, but that's just you rolling your more 20 more. I'm like, that's not. Feels like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something, like... I'm missing something drastically. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? God, what was that thing? What was the game that gave enemies like there was one game that I actually went over. I can't remember at the top of my head what this fucking was. But they had an ability, they had effectively a stat for, hey, you're just a cooler enemy and you have a lot of toys to play with. I remember that. You had a lot more toys to play with because you had a really high special attribute. Oh, goodness gracious. Aye. So. It's always hard just Googling these things because, fun fact, everything is going to be fucking 5e stuff. Because 5e is the default goddamn game. Remember that, kids. 5e is the... 5e is the default game. Everyone has to learn that. Oh god, I can't see. Needles just pops you with a gun. Needles uses the ultimate superpower of gun. Actually, no, we can do. Ah, God. Now, God. Got something in my eye. It's always a terrible feeling when you have something in your eye and you can't get it out. I can physically feel it in my... God, this is so annoying. And now we get to do the fun thing where I get to blink a lot and try to get something. Yeah, there we go. Good? Good. Think. Ah, there we go. Thank you very much, Stern Yourself, for continuing to subscribe. This is really annoying. I can feel it right in my eye. Oh, God. Welcome to the Notepad add-on experience where he goes fucking blind because he's got something in his eye. The little dust bulb and dust thing from nuts. Okay, let's see. If mutated in battle and me create. When designing an enemy, consult the following charts. Build as appropriate. Remember, these charts are for your convenience. That's ultimately unique in the eye of the creator, and can shift from and can change slightly, and can change among themselves. The dungeon is not fair, does not care, and it will kill the tormented. The type of enemy determines what they look like and how they act, will want, and different hunger for different things can be negotiated with. This determines their SR. The type of enemy determines what they look like, how they act, and what they are, and their horror factor. The horror factor is first time they encounter them, make an occult, or actually to make a heart or occult judgment to resist losing their hatred in D6s. To their mind due to the overwhelming ugly nature they exude. Their type will also inform their survival rating. SR, ability to use equipment, and even their starting traits before hatred. So, aberrations. 15. So they're going to have death. They're going to have. We're going to do. There we go. So. Let's think. So we have undead. Actually, I guess we could do undead, which undead are going to have. Created are going to be like homunculi. They're going to be weird fucking things. They are very easy to kill, relatively speaking. So let's just do death. We want to do Termina enemies. I just want to look at what the enemies of Termina are. Let's go back here. So let's see, dudes, animal, dudes, aberration. Actually, this would be demi-human, aberration. Mutant, that'd be a created, human, demi-human. Actually, what we can do is, technoid. Technoid's kind of a weird way of wording it, but like that's kind of the most accurate way of wording it. Hello, Perkley. Yes, you can fight the moon in this game, fun fact. The moon's an asshole. There we go. Okay, so nightmare creatures are just going to have a solid 13. Techoids are going to have 15. Okay, so we're making a new fish by accident, and it's a hybrid. So, hey Notepad, they made a new fish, the sturtlefish. What do you mean it's the sturtlefish? This is not a real fish. Oh god, it's awful. American paddlefly by sturgeon accidentally created when researched it. Wow, this thing is awful. Scientists accidentally bred the fish version of a liger. Yeah, wow, that's the sturtlefish. Hello, sturtlefish. How are you? Why can't we make something cool? Gotta make something lame looking. That's scary. Let's think. Let's look up to a normal human being. 2 plus 2, 4. So we're going to have about 6 fear. Roughly speaking, we're going to have about 6 fear. And total of about that'd be 30, 40, about 50 of that. So if we go all the way down here, so we're going to have, as a humanoid, we're going to have about 6. We're going to have 6 spread around all our things. Actually, yeah, so about 6. Undead are going to have about 8. They're going to be a little bit stronger. Nightmares going to have about 10. Decoids are going to have about 10. Demi-humans are going to have 6. Fawn are going to have 5. Created are going to have 5. Beasts are 5. Aberrations are going to have about 10. Yeah, humanoids are very average, it turns out. Fauna, actually, let's reduce fauna down along with created. What are you? Not human. That's what you fucking are. So, slightly different how dangerous the enemy is. So, actually, call it a lesser soul. Shining soul, normal soul, lesser souls, health. So we do health total, bonus traits. So a normal soul is going to have 200. Shining souls are going to have actually we can do like 150, 200. Greater souls are going to have about, let's say 400 even. We'll say about 300. No, 350. Lesser souls are going to have 100. Bonus traits, 3 bonus traits. They get a little bit. They get more toys to play with. There we go. Actually, we'll do that, and then Yep. Oh, let's see. As discussed above, the each creature can be graded on how dangerous they are, relatively speaking. Let's see how dangerous they are, relatively speaking. Each entity will need to distribute their health among their let's see. Each entity will need to distribute their health among their limbs as equally or unequally as possible. Let's see, with lower difficulty creatures having less limb health and in turn less health than other creatures. So lesser souls, normal soul with a normal soul. Actually, the greater ones, the more powerful. Actually, see, the more powerful one's soul, the higher value of death. A bonus of death and traits. Traits will be awarded to the would be creature. Would be awarded to the creature. Truly monstrous creatures with divine souls should be made arbitrarily. Without any hint of fairness. Without any hint of fairness or balance. You die to them. The tormented will die to them. Traits represent the backbone of the threat, representing the inhumanity of the enemy and how best they survive in hellish place. Understanding and subverting the enemy's traits are almost as valuable as slaying them actually almost as valuable as plunging a blade into its suspected head. Kind of like, yeah, you don't really know. It's just like, yeah, find out what it's fucking good at. Lower subject states. Okay. So we're going to just add in some sample traits. Time to add in some traits. So we have physical mean armored. Naturally armored. Naturally armored every location on every location on the body has a protection time of 30 plus, so 50 AM. Disease, any attack supposed to exposed section of body, coin flip target gains disease condition. No, it would be the, we actually even had the diseased condition. No, we don't even have the disease condition. It would be the poisoned condition. We'll do the poisoned condition. And the injury is automatically infected. Feel no pain. They gain plus 20. They gain plus. They gain 50 plus hatred time. And hatred times 10 health to distribute to all body parts. Health. Into all limbs goes ethereal and corporeal that can be damaged without using magic unless they are. They cannot be damaged without magic. Hardened limb. Plus hatred times 10 body health to it. Are you noticing a trend where I add a shit ton more body health to something? Magical access to such gains additional action every round. Let's see. Has extra limbs. Mutants add health indirectly. Natural weapons, a natural weapon, allowing them to use it consistently. Actually, the creature has a. If you're hunger, simply a mindless construct, destroying the head does nothing. Okay, so we're going to look up fear and hunger enemies. We're just going to look up the enemies of fear and hunger. Just give me what's going on. Flying. That's a good one. Flying. The creature is able to lift itself off the ground. Lifts itself off the ground. It can maneuver for free. It can maneuver for free every round, and while in flight, it cannot be hit in with melee weapons. Actually, no. Like, well, it can maneuver. So effectively, it can move to the back, and that means if it's in the back, it's technically flying, so you can't hit it. That's the annoying thing with flying. It can move around. Spells, demi-human. And ambush its prey. Let's see. The creature can naturally cloak itself and ambush its prey. Torment must make a prowess judgment when engaging them, or be ambushed. Let's see. Lizardmen, night lurches, cave dwellers, magicians. Mumbler. What does the mumblers do? Will only attack the mind of the tormented. Only attack the mind of the tormented, dealing no body damage, dealing no health damage, dealing no health damage with its attacks. Let's think. Gods. The creature can make two attacks per action. Let's think. Okay, so let's just go through and let's just take a look at some bonuses and problems that enemies can do. Okay, we're just gonna make some. What can they do? We'll do we'll add draining. All right, draining. Actually, hopes. Skills. Actually, no, we'll do. Bonus to certain rolls. Magic is pretty easy. We don't need to really worry about any equipment, really, because they just get what they have on them, and that's nothing too exciting. We want to do... Reduce phobia. The creature is a walking phobia. Every round. The tormented must make a heart/occult judgment against them, or take hatred d6 mind damage. This thing is just awful, and we hate it, and we don't like it. Let's see. Actually, we can do Oh. Regenerating. At start of every round, roll 1d10, run d10 plus hatred, regain that much health. The creature's attacks are long and difficult. They are able to use their melee attack. While in the back. Let's see. Striking. Zap. The creature naturally evaporate. Actually, the creature slows the movements of the tormented during attacks. During attacks, if the creature lands a successful hit upon a tormented, they reduce their rev points by half. Status effects. Let's see. So rated. The creature upon a successful attack will inflict major bleeding. Let's do yes, burning. The burning the burning condition. Let's see. Fractured bones, fatigue, eye trauma, horrific wounds, possession, severe organ damage, shattered bones, shattered this, shattered that, scraps and tools. They can use any equipment, theoretically, of their choice. Use any armor of their choice. Use shields of their choice. They can use magic that any magic that they want. So if we do this. This isn't the perfect. This is not the best idea. Like, I know what I want to happen here. It's just doing it, which is getting a little bit more complicated. Because every enemy should feel capable of being defeated. Might take a little while, and you don't want to do that, but that's just saying, hey, please do this. Please inflict upon something, you know, please use items, equipment, use things on the enemy, because the things will kill them. That we won't hit pinhead row. Do oh goodness, I've updated my pay notepad. Run add notes. How have I been? I've been well. Hey notepad, how do you make summoners not be annoying to manage without nerfing them into the center of the earth? Well, summoners by their nature, you either need to make it so that they are effectively Final Fantasy summoners. And by Final Fantasy summoners, I mean that they are effectively making a summon is not like summoning an entity to do something. It's doing a spell. It's like, hey, I'm summoning this entity to do a spell. Usually it's a bigger spell, and there's usually like a cost for it a little bit, but it's like, that's kind of the idea. On the other hand, you either make them... You have to make the summon either not strong or make it so like you have to use, or it obeys the action economy still. It's, hey, I'm a caster. I have summoned this being. I have to use my actions, or I have to use my actions to use the fight. I've summoned this creature. It's going to fight for me to do something. Usually the case is, I'm going to summon a warrior because I'm not a physical fighter. I'm going to summon a magician because he's got a different kind of magic. Or I'm going to summon something to do something I need them to do. Or, as I said, for kind of more of the Final Fantasy method, which is, it's doing something very precisely. You can make them very powerful, and you can make them very useful. But that's kind of the premise. Is like, you gotta... The goal for a summoner should be you have a lot more options because there's just more of you now. So we've added a few new ones. So what we're going to do is fear and hunger enemy. Let's just find an enemy that's nice and easy to get the idea of. Let's say you know what? Let's do Crow Mauler. All right, let's make Crow Mauler. So, we're gonna make 2 example enemies. One's going to be Crow Mauler. Side note, an example, Crow Mauler, and a good, let's find a good Termina enemy. What's a good Termina enemy? Let's think. What would be a good one to, let's see, a pillar man, shadowy figure, the cherub, disgusting cherubs. Bremen Elite. The woodsman and his weird penis monster. Stitches, needles, the meat grinder mob. Pocket cat. Want to fight Pocket Cat? Nah, I don't want to fight Pocket Cat. I hate that. Let's try to fight a... Let's try to fight a... What would be a good... What's a good enemy to deal with currently? You know what? Let's fight. What is a beekeeper? Let's remember what the beekeeper. Appeal cry to the gospel to the church folk. Rectus odomata. For ancient vampires. Yep, good old pillar man. Guess we can just do stitches. You know, let's do an owl cultist. How about that? Actually, no, let's just do Crow Mauler. How about that? Good old Crow Mauler. Here is an example of how this should in theory work. How this should in theory work. Crow Mauler. So we're just going to make Crow Mauler. So, Crow Mauler. We're going to call him, we're going to go all the way up here. We're going to have to fix that up a little bit. Let's say that he's going to be we're going to say he's a shine. Actually, no, we're going to say he's a greater soul. He is a greater soul. And generally speaking, let's think. Crow Mauler, where are you, Crow Mauler, my brother in Christ? Let's think. Captain Rudima. So, let's say that Crow Mauler is a... Let's say he's an aberration. Actually, no. Let's say he is a. No. We'll go with we'll go with an aberration. So he's got a SR-15, and he is a cult whore. He can use equipment, and let's take a look at his deaths. So let's say his deviants, let's say, so generally speaking, enchiritic, anger, tension, hatred. He's got 10 points to spend, so let's just start putting points in. Let's say anger, straight up 6. He hates everything. Tension 3. Deviance 1. Actually, we'll say we'll bring that down. We'll do 1 deviance, 1 hatred. So effectively, he's got 1, 11, 15, 13, and then 0, 10. He's not the smartest person in the world, but he doesn't need to be smart because guess what? He is a giant fucking nightmare monster. So We've got that set up. He is going to be a greater soul, so he gets a bonus of a few death points. He's greater soul. Let's see, he's got 3 extra points. Let's put 2 into this, so he's got a 17 in his anger. He hits very consistently. And let's put actually 1 more into his hatred, 2 more into his tension. There we go. This is Crow Mauler currently. So 2 with greater soul. He's got 2 traits. As a knight, as a aberration 2, so he's got a total of 6 traits. So let's just do this naturally. Well, obviously he's got feel no pain. He does not give a fuck. So he's got to 20. He's got plus 70 body on all limbs. He is incredibly durable. That's 1. Let's see. Let's see. He is going to have... Let's say that he's also massive, so he gets plus 1 action every round. He's a big motherfucker. He has a natural weapon. He has a maul on his right arm. Let's see, he has... What is the Crow Mauler? Peck and Maul, Flock of Crows. Let's see, so we would want to... Flock of Crows. Actually, what we'll do is attack using deviant, using one of their death as the two hit to impart a condition or deal damage naturally. Actually, we can always say traits may always be used to increase the bonus, increase the flat bonus of a death, or actually I should say or the the save portion of the... So we've actually, 1 2 3 4, we've got 2 more, so let's say he's going to be able to save versus tension a lot easier. There we go. They can increase the flat bonus or the save bonus. There we go. That's it. He's relatively simple to hit. He's just a fucking nightmare every now and again because he's got a lot of limb damage. So we do that. His total health as a greater soul is 350 plus the 70 That would put him at 420. He has his head, gut, left arm, right arm, left leg, right leg. Split that 420 to divided by 6. 420 divided by 6 would be 70. We'll probably do 20, so 400 divided by 5. We remove. If we move that, we can do something like this. There we go. We've created Crow Mauler. Actually, hell, we can even do something like this. There we go. We've created Crow Mauler, everyone. Why is Crow Mauler scary, you may wonder? Well, very simply put, Crow Mauler has the ability to just ignore pain. He has 70 body on all of his limbs. Actually, it would be... Actually, no, it wouldn't be 70 body on all of his limbs. As a greater soul... Didn't do that right. Greater soul, he would have 350. So if we do 350 divided by 6, that would be 58.3. Let's say he's got 30, like 300 divided by 5, so 60, so that would be... So this is his natural state of being. Even though we can probably do this even... This is his natural state of being. But then we get to add, because he's got the feel no pain, he's 70 to all limbs. 70 to all limbs, that means he's got 100. So it would be... Maybe we should tone down feel no pain a little bit to like 30 plus hatred times 10. 30, so it would be 30, that would be 50, so that would be... $50 to all his limbs. He is fucking nuts. There we go. He's fucking cracked. There we go. I think we got it. Why? Why is there a thread about Chrome Strike? This Chrome Strike got a new edition, Solid. We have a brand new edition of Chrome Strike. After 90 years. Yes, those who don't know, this is the new edition of Chrome Strike. It's officially out. To give you an idea of when Chrome Strike first came out, Duke said that it came out in 2012. It's been literally a decade since Chrome Strike's been in development. I might focus more on my Unity game, Chrome Strike project, or fiddle with tiny bits and pieces of pen and paper versus my sparse free time. Yeah, it's good old Duke. I've made fun of Duke before. I'm like, Duke, reformat the fucking book. Yeah. Let's see, so... He's got a maul in his right arm. Actually, I believe the term is "we are so back." Yo, yeah. He is incredibly difficult to fight. He is incredibly dangerous to fight because flock of crows will cause partial eye damage. Will cause partial eye trauma, making it much easier to then lose your eyes. And then he plucks your eyes out, and then you die, and then everyone makes fun of you unless you have a face mask. You do have that, right? If you don't, you're gonna have a bad time. And he's a big dude, so he pretty much gets to swack you 3 times with a +7 to hit. He's not hard to hit. He just has a lot of health. So unless you are really ganging up on him. Is Chrome Strike a good TTRPG? Chrome Strike is an interesting TTRPG. It's very much that classic, how do I want to word this? It is very much inspired by Armored Core. It's a little bit older at this point, though. I will say that. It's very Armored Core. It is very fast. It's very deadly. And there's a lot of toys to play with. If you like the idea of Armored Core TTRPG, then it's like, yeah, Chrome Strike's pretty baller. If all of the situations around a Chrome Strike RPG is not your jam, well, Lesser Soul, Undead, 8. Actually, I should say, Dennis Dark 1. Does Undead get 1? Cool, yes. As the Undead, you technically get 1 thing, and it's being undead usually. The Blood Golem, on the other hand. Blood Golem, Blood Golem, Blood Golem. Do. Blood Golems don't really get that much, but they get a little bit more. So they're going to get, as a greater soul, they get, actually no, as with extra death points. Actually no, they only get, how much death do you get? They get 5, they get 10. They get 10. As a blood golem, what do you get? That'd be a created entity. Should say is the ghoul ends up with SR16. The blood golem as SR8. As SR8. 7, and it's going to be lesser, obviously, because it's just boring. The SR16. Actually, and there, and blood golems just get feel no pain. They pretty much are very enduring. They can take a lot of punishment. But in I'm gonna put a very distinctive note here. Side note. Simple enemies. Simple enemies. So you want to have a simple simple enemies are there for when you just need goons or other disposable fodder or other threats that don't require planning, most notably when dealing with just treat their health as one pool that when reduced to 0 kills them immediately. You want even faster enemies to die violently. Cut it in half. Anything that grants additional health or body contributes to this singular pool. Let's put like, yeah, simple. You just want to like beat up a fucking cave dweller, go for it. This is how you do it. I need to gaslight Manly real fast. It is my God-given duty to gaslight Manly and become the gaslight gatekeeper girl boss that I always knew I could be. Let's see you. We'll do 100. That. Yep, 130 health. Doesn't seem like a lot, but remember, these enemies can do a lot. To any damage they deal. So we'll sub that out. Malia. The maul, technically, if we're doing this correctly, the maul, if we go up here to the maul, it does 5d, it would do 7d10 plus 3 damage. Its only issue is that it has cumbersome, which, if you're in a tight space, it gets a -4 to hit with its plus fucking 7. It literally, he just swings it and you lose arms and heads and limbs and everyone dies and everything laughs at you. Oh yeah. So, we made it all the way over here. We love feel no pain. You know what's the funny thing I found about Dungeon Worlds is that it smells hated. That it smells hated. The most hatred comes from people who play it. Nearly the same level of people who play 5e. It's gotten so bad that people have replaced Dungeon World with Dungeons Unlimited. I've tried to run a game, but my fantasy well is kind of dry. Yeah, Dungeon World, I think one of the issues with Dungeon World is that people got... It was novel, it wasn't even novel really when it came out. One of the issues with Dungeon World is the two people behind it became incredibly tainted meat. And that really soured a lot of people on it. Because you have things like Sage Latora. Sage Latora works for Google, and he is like now Indie Man 101. Sage Latora is kind of like, oh, well, I'm an indie game guy. He hasn't made really anything else for a while, and he kind of left for a bit. Again, he works at Google now. That's his job. He works at Google, but he's fighting for the little guy, of course, at Google, the largest, like one of the largest tech companies in the world. And the other is Adam Koebel, who kind of got disgraced after the whole, well, after literally everything, Far Verona, every single thing with that. So Dungeon World, and in turn, everything associated with them kind of became a little bit more ew. Little bit more ewy. And people don't like dealing with things that are uncomfortable. And the thing is, Dungeon World wasn't really exciting to begin with, but people hyped it up because, well, people think it was good, even though it was just part of the PBTA zeitgeist at the time. But then people realized, oh fuck, this is just D&D, but PBTA and bad. The dungeon for giving place and the void's duties emphasize the difficulty and hostility of the place by putting the pressure on the original band and the tormented themselves. When tormented dies either by their own hand or another's, another tormented will not come to take their place. Instead, the party will recruit an innocent or corrupted. Regular people find themselves stuck in the capital D dungeon, one way or another. Perhaps they wandered in for promises of safety, duty, or greed, or maybe they just are simply residents of this forsaken place or its fall into depravity. Innocents are regular people. They do not have the spark of the tormented, nor the black mark of the corrupted. Here to draw from the innocents, try nor the black mark. They simply are trying to survive the best that they can. Rather than choose an archetype, their own fear and hope, dividing 5 points among fear and 40 points among hope. Fears and 40 points of hopes. Hopes, as well as choosing 3 skills of their choice. Once completed, the innocent is done. They are simple and straightforward, not adapted fully to the survival of the dungeon and the dangers that lurk within it. Straightforward, not adapted to the survival of the dungeon, the dangers that lurk within it, possessing the necessary tools and equipment to last longer than most. Survival of the dungeon, the danger. Be a little bit generous. Let's say 7d6. Actually, no, 8d6 for their 8d6 for their starting silver's worth of gear and supplies. Let's see. They are not adapt. They are, however, not. They are, however, not adapted. Actually, innocence can still earn favor. Let's see. Innocence can still earn favor of the gods. Of the gods themselves. Let's see. Innocence can still earn the favor of the god. Of the gods, but their notice is far less important to their machinations. To give you an idea, this is Sir Buckman. This is Buckman. No one likes Buckman. What's your character? Man, who are you playing at? It's like you're playing the girl. You're playing like Lord Buckman or Sir Seymour. Like, this is kind of like your character would be like. Ugh. Yeah, like you can. It's like Sir Seymour. See, Sir Seymour is not a character. Like Buckman. Buckman sucks. No one likes Buckman. Like you have the girl, of course. You know, the girl is theoretically an innocent, but there's a little bit more going on there. Yeah, this looks like a little bit more going on. PBTA sucks, yeah. Yeah, no, it's Dungeon World was at a particular time, place, and thing, and because it was at a specific time, place, and thing, they have their own advantages and disadvantages. Actually, still, innocents can still earn the favor of the gods and improve themselves. Lastly, they simply do not have strong enough soul. They simply do not have a strong enough soul to gather enough attention. Yeah, it's like they have to work a little bit harder to get less. The corrupted, however. Okay, so the dungeon's a corrupting force, and he cares little for the inhabitants to actually seek out about of the weak. The corrupted are these denizens. Individuals or things have been twisted and corrupted into a poor representation of themselves in a desperate attempt to survive. Their minds are broken, their bodies twisted, and their souls blackened. Still wish to survive. They still cling to the hope of survival. When creating a corrupted, consult the enemy design section above. Enemy design section above. But follow the rules laid out. Corrupted characters are normally drawn from beasts, created demi-humans, or humanoids, representing individuals who can move and somewhat think for themselves. They have been twisted or broken. All corrupted characters start with an additional trait and 2 skills. However, they may sub out skills for additional traits if they wish. Trade-off is for newfound powers. It's simple. Inhumanity. Normal residents will find the corrupted repulsive and dangerous. We'll navigate through the dungeon's corridors. The corrupted. Freak of nature, something that is not human but cling desperately to that remaining aspects of their mind. We'll make Moonless, and we will make Lord Buckman. Actually, we'll just make Lord Seymour. Sir Seymour. Hello, everyone. It's me, Sir Seymour. I'm a knight. Jeez, Sir Seymour. What you doing over there? Oh, you just suck. I understand now. Example. Actually, no. I gotta fix this. So when creating okay, so let me see. When creating a corrupted, they will choose an archetype. They will choose an archetype. Actually, when creating a corrupted, they will consult the enemy. Consult the enemy design section and follow the rules laid out. Follow the rules laid out. Instead of calculating death normally, they will calculate. They will find their death as normal. They will find their death as normal. But split it apart as laid out let's split it apart into their fear and hope. We'll put a table. So, for example, a corrupted with a deviant with tension of 4 would have reflexes +4 and prowess 14. Oh, tension of 4 would have reflexes +4 and prowess 14. You're pretty much becoming. You're getting your fear and hope back. That's kind of the idea. You're splitting it apart a little bit more. Let's see. Normally, humanoids representing individuals who can somewhat think for themselves. Would be non-humans. We just do demi-human. Comment? Parlez-vous français? Demi-humans or ooh, something for themselves, even though they have been twisted and broken. Each of the corrupted will begin with an additional trait of their choice. And two skills to to distribute. They may sub out their skills or additional traits if they so wish. Trade off for this power. Trade off for this power. Metal Gear. Don't understand. Snake. Actually, I know who we can draft. Tanaka. Tanaka Gaming. Hey, no bad. Do you think the current PBTA environment is still very much oversaturated, or do you think it's a well-made one with interesting, non-usual premise taken rapidly by the community? Well, I think the PBTA craze is dead. I think it has... How do I want to word this? I think PBTA in general has evolved to the point of becoming irrelevant. I say this in a kind of a weird way, but it quite literally at this point, it has evolved to so many different branching families that, like, kind of like a strict, like, PBTA game, I don't think that would actually do very well, regardless of whatever the concept is. It just wouldn't do well. What it probably would have to be, it would have to be one of those weird, like, offshoots. Because you even got things like Apocalypse Keys, for example, which was like a very strict PBTA, you know, it's a PBTA game. It was like, yeah, we're a brand new PBTA thing. And Apocalypse Keys kind of just died. No one talks about Apocalypse Keys anymore. I don't think anyone talked about it when it fucking came out. You get things like Magpie and the Avatar game. That went over with a dull fucking thud in a lot of different circles. Like, people just like, I don't know why this exists. It is so funny seeing people talk about that game. You end up with things such as, I'm trying to think of like other games that use it. I can't really think of many. A lot of people are going to the Forged in the Dark angle. A lot of people are going in that direction. This is evolution that works from PBTA, base PBTA, but with other shit on top, flesh it out more. Hey, so you're saying Blazing the Dark system is the evolution that works from PBTA? I think there was a natural evolution into PBTA turning into Forged in the Dark. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying that it's worse. I'm saying that there's a very clear line of evolution that people have glommed onto more, because writing a good PBTA game is hard. And there's a lot of PBTA out there, and none of them really do well, and you need to do well to get anywhere. And I think one of the issues is a lot of them are bolting shit on the PBTA or just making their own thing now, where it's so radically different from baseline. I think the strongest PBTA may be Monster of the Week. Monster of the Week is like constantly cited to be pretty good. I am just not a fan of that entire system. It just does not appeal to me. I understand why people might like it. I don't get it. No, Pat, you just don't like role-playing. I've gotten that before. Oh no, I hate the system. Oh no, don't get me wrong, I fucking hate the system. However. So, let's make... let's make Tanaka first. We're gonna make basic Tanaka. It's me, Tanaka time. Wow, Tanaka. You're so cool. Like, yeah, it's Tanaka. let's see. I'm just gonna put this right here so I remember all my fucking stats. Business friend from Edo. No, not a warrior soul or anything, or a businessman from Edo. He may not have the warrior soul, but he does have a very nice suit. He does have a nice suit. Tanaka, businessman. The innocent. Ferocity, enigmatic, acuity, reflexes, art, occult, prowess, endurance. So let's see, 5 points divided among their fear. We're gonna say he's going to have he's gonna get like this. He's not very ferocious. That is not him. He technically has lower stats than normal. He's got 40 points to distribute. Let's say he's not gonna have very high that. We're gonna give him, he's got there we go. That's his baseline. That's all you're gonna get. Actually, we can actually reduce it. Let's just say he's got 30 points. There we go. He's even got shittier saves. And then he's got 8d6. Let's roll. He has 26 silver. Tanaka, you are not doing too hot. So, actually, how many skills do you start with? 3 skills. He has... What would he have? He would have, no. Wow, Tanaka, you're so cool. One-handed martial weapons. It's cool. You've got how much money? You've got 26 silver. Let's buy 26 silver worth of supplies. Cause you fucking suck. Let's see. What are we buying? We're gonna buy 26 silver. We're gonna buy not a blue vial. We're not gonna buy that. We're not gonna buy heroin. Ooh. Ooh. You just don't have any fucking supplies. Well, let's buy a pipe. Let's do blue herb times 2, so that's 6. Pipe is 2, so we're down to 8. We've reduced 8 to 18 silver. Let's get some food in here. Yeah, it's food time. Let's get a loaf of fresh bread for $10. 10 fucking silver. Do we got anything else? Can I get the... yes, of course. I know what to grab. Oh, okay, we can't grab any of these. Not grabbing any martial weapons. We can... I guess we're just gonna start punching motherfuckers. We do have martial artist. I know. With our remaining 8 coins. Remaining $8 that we have to afford. Let's see. What What do we want to buy for our additional 8? Bottle of water. Bottle of water for 5. So we're down to 3 silver. What can we buy for 3 silver? Pinecone pig. There we go. We've got a little bit of healing, we got some food, and we got the pinecone pig. We are banking everything on our awesome kung fu abilities because we're playing Tanaka. It's Tanaka time, everybody. You may not like it, but this is peak masculinity. I don't think Tanaka time's gonna go very well for us, but we can believe, right? It's always Tanaka time in our hearts. Okay, we do that. To knock the innocence. We do this. We don't you anymore, which down here. Sorry if I'm not responding to something right now. This is called getting focused. Let's take a look real fast. We are going to be a beast, 16 SR. So we're going to have so we've got 5 points to spend among our death, so that would be, we do our death real fast. So deviance, we don't need high deviance, so deviance 0, we don't need that. Anger, we can do 3. T, which would be we can do 2 there, and hate 0. So if we do T, that would be tension, reflexes, prowess, so that would be 2, 12, anger 4, ferocity, 4 ferocity, and that would be 14. It's not going to give a shit. Beasts start with 1 trait naturally, so they have 2. He has 2 traits. Well, she does technically. You would have 2 traits to work with. So actually, so let's see. We've got that. We've got 2 traits. 2 skills to distribute. We don't really need to worry about any of that. So let's just do traits. Let's see, what else do we got? see. Actually, we want to do skill. We've got one more we want to have. Well, I guess feel no pain. Just extra plus 30 to all our. Yeah, feel no pain's just really good. There's technically there's a few ones that you could. Regenerating would be a pretty good one. Sap could be serrated. Serrate, you know what? We'll go with serrated instead. How about that? Just for so it'd be serrated. So there we go. Distribute. Two, that would be 3, 4, it'd be +4 for hound. There we go. There you go. Playboy, yeah, Burnout Mass do the most of them being PvP and flaky GMs. Wait, fucking bread for 10 silver? The fuck? What kind of Kenyan inflation is this? Well, you gotta think about it like this. Silver is like normal currency. It's like $1. Not even $1. It's like 50 cents. Like, it's not really valuable. Except nobody has money in the dungeon, and I don't want you buying bread. I don't want you to get real good bread. Why would I want you to have real food in this hellhole? No one deserves good Fred. No one deserves good things. Alright, so here's Moonless. Yeah. Okay, so feel like I'm missing something down here. Let me check something real fast. Fur and hunger. This is the old version. I feel like I forgot something. Something got removed. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hit. Oh, there we go. On enemy, quick note, some of the enemy play vaguely humanoid enemy, below SR, and limbs is normal, however somebody will not play by the rule. Being human fighting them is different nightmarish experience. So they won't take a head off or rip an arm off or two, but that's half the fun. Be mean, be nasty, never cheat the system. If it bleeds, it can die. Okay. I believe... need something they can acquire. There we are. Okay. To give you an idea of why Moonless is very scary, if Moonless hits you twice, you have effectively severe bleeding and are losing 46 health every round. Moonless just runs up to you and starts gnawing your face off. There is no greater strategy here. You are going to die. Let me just double check actually when it comes to the beast. So it's considered a normal. It would actually be Shining Souls. They're Shining Souls and will find their death as normal. As a Shining Soul, they get 200 HP death bonus and a bonus trait. So let me actually bump up Moonless's thing. They get an extra trait. If they get an extra trait, that means we want to give them we can give him a meme option, Absorber. There we go. Ta-da! There we are. Yeah, Moonless, like, generally speaking, like, corrupted enemies are going to be stronger overall. They are going to be a better, more well-equipped Tormented. Because generally, think about it, everyone gets about 40, everyone's going to end up with about 50 in their hopes, and about a plus, it would be plus 5 among their fears. Corrupted, already you can kind of see 5, 6, 7, 8. They end up with 8. They get a good amount more. Their traits allow them to do a lot of different things. They're just horrifying abominations beyond the colors of time, and everyone hates them. For obvious fucking reasons, because they're scary. Give you an idea, Moonless looks like this. Moonless, Fear, and Hunger. This is what Moonless looks like. I don't know about you, but Fido looks fucking mean. We don't want to mess with Fido. Fido looks like she's going to rip my face off, and that's not fun. This is not entertaining they are much bigger than us. They are going to kill us. But also, this is another important thing to think about. It's, hey, you are much larger, you are much more powerful, and you are more adapted to the dungeon. And being adapted to the dungeon has its advantages. Cool. All right. Let's just do a double check the way through. Yeah. We added more traits. We have to put a little note there. I'm sensing with that, actually, we don't have any notes. I need to add some images. I need to do the map over again, but the map is fairly simple to do. Need to add in just little things around here. I added some artwork in, played around with some. Some is better than others, but... yeah, I think we're done. We hit that. Actually, no, you don't need to be 3. You don't need to be heading 3. You need to be heading 2. Enemy traits need to be heading 3. You need to be heading 1. Yeah, you need to be heading 1. Because if I go up here, we hit this. Yeah, alright. This works then. This works just fine. Actually, enemy trace can even be heading 2, I think. Because if it's heading 2, it's more of an indication of like, yeah, they're all on equal part. There we go. We put that there. We've got some... Alright, without any immediate problems... Without any immediate problems, I believe we're done. Is there probably some math stuff going on that I need to drastically fix somewhere? Yeah, not gonna lie, there probably is. However, right this moment, we're good. We are. We're good. Aiming. Ubuntu 12. Okay, so we're doing Ubuntu 12 on everything. Everything looks good. Tags being under weapon, equipment, throwables, consumables, armor, shields. I could probably put armor and shields. No, that's fine. It gives it's a little bit better if I do it that way. Help it split it up a little bit. But yeah, I believe that's it. I believe we're done. Good job, team. We did it. Outside of just some... Literally, all I need to do now is just some very basic, just, like, it's not... There's not going to be any more dev work, okay? It's not going to be dev work, necessarily. It's going to be just logistics. Adding art, adding the examples for the map, things like that. It's not going to be complicated. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be time-consuming. Oh! Oh, God. Ooh! Oh! Ooh! Yeah. We're good. Good job, team. We did it. We successfully got our S ending. Our super ending. Good job, team. We did it. We added guns to the game about getting our shit rocked by everything. Currently, as of what I need to do, currently there are 2 things I need to do. One, I need to get a hold of the next commissioner. I'm going to probably send him an email tonight. For those who don't know, let me bring up the details on that one real fast. Don't close that. That would be bad. Currently, what I'm going to do is probably, it seems one's kind of fell into a loop a little bit, so that one's not going to happen. Currently, our next one is by Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes has got a idea. I'm going to send him the note on it and see how things are going to look there, if he's got any ideas. It does appear to be that there is some, looks like to be some like minor issues when it comes to the document here, so I might have to do some shenanigans there. But hey, that is what we do here. We have a good idea of what it's looking like. Hey, but that's fun. We can work with that. I will probably send him the details tonight. If he gets back to me in time, awesome. And all the money goes through, awesome. We will start work on it immediately. If not, Wednesday might get... What kind of occurs there is Wednesday will be kind of used as kind of a filler day. We can get some little basic work done. As we get everything set up. After everything has been set up, we will then go to other things. I'm not going to put out the poll for the next set of games this time, but at the end of this next commission, at the start of Nero Beat, then I will put out the big one. Hopefully, if things go according to plan, we will be able to finish this particular game, in about 2.5 weeks. That's the goal. That's my goal for this next commission. 2.5 weeks. It might be a little bit longer. I don't know. 2.5 weeks. Neurobeat, I don't think Neurobeat is going to be a very long game. I don't think it is, because I've got an idea, I've just got to hammer things out, and I'm going to sit in a VC and want to kill myself for about 6 hours working and just hammering out all the details there. It's going to be great. That one's going to be, I think, about 2 weeks at best. Then we're going to lead into December. December is when I want to kind of hammer out a lot of like what the next few games are going to look like. What are things going to be? Because I'm planning on taking my break. I have 2 breaks that I have 1 break I want to do in December because I haven't had a break in a while. So I'm going to have a break in December. Gonna hammer some things out there. We have the very special Christmas time event in December, so that's just going to be kind of, everything's going to kind of have to happen at once there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all. Godspeed. Good luck. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I'm going to have dinner now because I'm hungry because I haven't eaten anything all day. So yeah.